All right, and welcome to another weekly podcast between myself and Justin at Comic Talks. We are here to talk today about WandaVision episode 3. If you have not watched the third episode, there will be spoilers that we are talking about, definitely with the speculation and everything. So please make the conscious decision to go forward or to watch the third episode of WandaVision before continuing. My co-host with me,
I'm
Justin, as you guys know. And let's just jump into it. Let's do a little summary first of the episode, and then we can just get kind of into it. So, obviously, the babies are on their way. Wanda is developing rapidly fast. There's a lot of humor playing with the classic Brady Bunch feel. With the doctor, of course, going on vacation right before the babies are due. You know how it is. It's like a staple in every pregnancy comedy.
Yeah, training they had to do.
Yes.
Was
it, exactly. The breathing exercises. Absolutely.
I do the same thing on the toilet.
It's crowning. And and then of course the babies do arrive, and Geraldine is not all who she seems to be. So yeah, let's jump into it. What were your initial thoughts of the episode?
Oh man, it was like they just wanted to push right through the pregnancy, which I loved. I didn't want them to be the whole episode her pregnant, and we didn't get to see the kids, so that was really good that they just rushed through that. And I feel like we had a lot more of Vision starting to realize everything's kind of weird. That was that's what I wanted. I was like, finally, he's starting to be a computer.
Yes. Yeah, finally we're starting to, I mean, not just Vision, but I mean, we're getting a lot more of that feeling that everything is definitely not okay. And me watching it, my initial reaction was, we're back. Like, Marvel is back. Like, it's no longer like, oh, is it good? Is it not good? No, it is good now. Like, we're in there. Of course, it still had a little bit of the cheesy that they brought along with the Brady Bunch feel.
Comics on this one.
What's that?
Look at her. She's like, "Oh, what's in the boxes?"
But yeah, no, I absolutely loved this episode, and I watched it twice.
Yeah, 5 times.
What? I told you I was watching it twice, and you're like, I'm not going to be outwatched by this guy, so I'm going to go ahead and watch it 5 times.
A lot of people are probably doing the same thing I do when they're waiting for the 3 a.m. Time to jump. Maybe they're waking up from a nap, or maybe they stayed up all night, made a meal or something. I was cooking. So while I cooked, I put it on because it just came out. I put it on and I was watching it, and I didn't want to pause it, so I walked away, kept cooking. Sat down after about the half hour, 20 minutes, I think, because it's 7 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
Sat down, got to eat the food and watch it again. And, I already had some of the spots watched, so I got to see the background stuff that I really wanted to look at.
Yeah.
I caught a lot of stuff just from that second watch that I didn't see the first time, even though I was sitting there watching it in the beginning for like the first 15 minutes nonstop. There's a lot of Easter eggs, man. It's just like
there was a lot. There was so much that because the first time I watched it and I would pause whenever I wanted to write something down. So I'd pause it and then like write whatever it was down, go back 10 seconds and then continue. And so then the second time I just watched it straight through without doing any kind of pausing or anything like that. But there was a lot to take in this episode. Just so much happened. It was incredible, and I was just like super excited to get into it. So first of all, we jump in. Wanda is already 4 months pregnant within 12 hours, which was amusing for Vision to be like, no, 4 months sound right? And he's like, no. And she's like, yes, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, they're prepping. Or no, I'm sorry. Then you have Herb, the neighbor, outside.
Oh my god, I love that part.
So, okay, go ahead.
So you've seen Rick and Morty, right?
I've watched a little bit of Rick and Morty.
There's an episode where they're in a simulation and Rick's trying to figure it out the whole time. And it's spoiler for if anyone didn't watch this episode. but there's a mailman that on that episode that's always like, "My man," and he's always like, glitching out, and that's like the very big vibe that I got from this episode was everyone's starting to glitch out of the out of what's going on. They're starting to wake up a little bit, and the only person that doesn't want to know anything is Wanda. So
Right.
like I got that vibe. It's a Rick and Morty simulation inside a simulation vibe.
Ian's like, don't spoil Rick and Morty. You can spoil WandaVision, but don't spoil Rick and Morty.
Yeah, that's where we get the dislikes. That son of a bitch.
All right, so Herb is trimming his hedges, and he cuts into the wall. And then Vision's like, I think you overshot. And he's like, oh, look at that, I did. And then stares at him, like directly at him, and just continues like chopping down into the fence. So that is, I think, just a little metaphor of them trying to break down the walls of what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, illusion.
that was pretty straightforward. Like they couldn't be more clear with that one.
I really liked it because I feel like one thing I want to point out in that scene while we're on this is he's wearing a wedding ring, but you never see his wife.
Herb is or.
Herb, yeah, he has a wedding ring.
Oh, okay.
And they make it very dominant because he has his hand on the wall the whole time to show you that. And what I think is everyone in this town has like either kids or loved one, and they don't have kids, and they're, hey, what's up, Phil? And they took up the school and probably took everyone's kids away. Well, Wanda did, or Shield did, whatever. They're probably away from their families at some capacity. Maybe their wife was out of town or something and she can't get back in. But Herb's wife's nowhere to be seen. So I think that she's either one of the reasons why he can't talk about it, because he looked very like he was about to say it. Like he looked like he was very there in the moment.
Oh yeah. And he was definitely about to say. And then of course Agnes.
Yeah.
we'll get into that a little bit, because that's later in the episode. But you don't really see anyone's partner or family besides Wanda and Vision. Like they are the only family there. Everyone else is just kind of like maybe they're part of something besides the Harts, Mr. and Mrs. Hart. You saw both of them, but I think that might be the only.
Well, second episode you didn't see Mr. Hart at all.
Oh,
I think she got rid of him to further along her continuity for her world.
Okay. All right. So he goes inside. They start prepping the nursery, and there's the humorous part where she turns the little butterfly bassinet, or whatever it's called. Is it called a bassinet? I don't have kids. I don't know. So that turns the butterfly bassinet into actual butterflies, and then says, "Oop, did I do that? I didn't mean to." Kind of pushing into this thing where she's bringing life to things where she's not meaning to, and kind of creating things out of nothing when she's not meaning to.
100%.
What's that? Gazer says another thing to point out. Vision has the stone on his forehead, so I'm intrigued to know about that. One thing that I missed. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just how I know that he's not real. That was the biggest show of that.
One thing that I definitely missed when she threw that saucer at his head and she said, "My husband and his indestructible head," even though Thanos literally destroyed his head. Yeah. So I thought I completely missed that. Like one of the first freaking lines.
And he's an alien.
And the flying saucers thing. Yeah. My wife and her flying saucers. Yeah.
So that's
and my husband and his indestructible head. Yeah, I definitely, when I watched it again for a second time, that just kind of clicked with me. I was like, indestructible head, you say? I don't think so.
Right.
All right. So they're joking over the names, or they're play fighting over the names. Of course, we know Tommy and Billy are both going to come to fruition. Anyone who kind of knows about it.
Speed and
Wiccan. Yep. For the Young Avengers. And I liked how when Vision said Billy after Will Shakespeare, and the world is your stage. Or whatever he said, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was another one that was just kind of direct right at her, like the world is your stage." Yeah, that was. Oh look,
it was a real on the nose thing for him to say, because he was starting to realize that they're all players on the stage.
Yeah, for sure. So I really thought that. I like how they do that too, because like if you're not really sitting there listening for it, uh, it's gonna go over your head because the way that they play it and they write it, it's brilliant because it just slips right in as almost
Yep.
normal phrases and idioms that you would say in everyday life. But for this, it's just like it's so much deeper into it.
It was a lot of Vision's personality that we expect from the cinematic universe that we were seeing. So that's one thing why I was really appreciative of that one, and it was right on the nose for what's going on in the series.
Very, very much so. All right, so moving forward, and of course she has the fake labor or the false labor pains and contractions. Everything starts kind of rumbling around in her house.
Spinning.
Yeah, stuff's going in disarray just from the false labor, and she's like, "Who knows what'll happen when the real thing starts?" Which I thought was very ominous and foreboding, and I like that because, of course, we do find out that there is a lot of crazy stuff that happens when the real thing goes down. But yeah, again, just every time that she's emotionally or physically in this pain, it manifests in the reality as chaos, basically, which I think is going to play a huge role. I think we both said that kind of last time.
Yeah. Yep, chaos magic is one of her things. It's like her.
What's up, John? Thanks for stopping in, man.
That's what actually gives her edge over Thanos himself. It was the magical energy, chaos energy.
Mm-hmm.
And
That red.
to what Juggernaut has. With Chthon, it's Wanda, and with Sidorak, it's Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about the Doctor when he came out of the house when he was talking to Vision right before that scene with cutting through the wall and everything,
where he says that he can't escape. Are you talking about that part? That was after the kids are born. Yeah.
No, it's just before. Oh no, yeah, it is actually.
Yeah.
He said he was going to Bermuda right before that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, so he was saying that he was going to go to Bermuda, blah blah blah. He catches him because the car breaks down or doesn't start, and he's like, "Oh, that's weird." Of course I can't get out of here. And then when after the kids are born, when Vision's like, "I'll walk you out, as long as you don't fly this time or whatever."
Yeah. Right.
Then that's when he says, "You know how it is in a small town. You can't escape, or it's so hard to escape."
And they don't let him fly in this episode. They don't let him fly at all. He's running around like Pietro.
Yeah, which I think is strange because he does fly. He does float like in the magic show, the illusion show. So he can.
In this episode too. He does a little bit.
What's that?
He does a little bit in this episode too, but it's more of like a.
Yeah, that was funny with the sympathy pain where he flies up in the air. Yeah, and he has to breathe himself down. But yeah, he doesn't like fly from location to location. I think just to kind of keep under like the illusion of we're not Vision and Wanda. But at the same time, they all kind of see what they want him to see anyway. Yeah, they all call him Vision anyway.
Yeah, that's his name. Some of it's so inconsistent that it has to be just her headcanon,
Yes. All right, there was a glitch in this one, so she reverses time again.
Oh my God, I loved it. I wonder how many people
look,
like, what the fuck?
The first time, like, I literally stopped it and rewound it because I thought that my TV was fucking up.
Yeah, and so, they did that shit.
I was like, what in the world?
$1 just to make you think your Wi-Fi shit.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck, man? And then I thought I missed something, so I rewound it, and then when it glitched again, I was like, okay, now I can see that it was for real. But the glitch again, she's just trying to lull herself into this false sense of security.
Yeah.
With she doesn't want to hear anything bad. She doesn't want to hear Vision say that something might not be right here. She wants this perfect little world with her and Vision and the babies, and that's it. And she'll do anything, including reversing time around in this thing to keep that the way it is.
The main thing is her contractions. Those could just be Wiccan doing his using his powers instead of her messing up reality. It could just be him because that's his mom. That's his powers. That's what he does.
Okay. As an infant.
Yeah, I mean it's Wiccan. He wouldn't have any control over his powers,
Mm-hmm.
And especially if they're going with the original storyline of both him and his brother, then they're just
Well, if they're going with the original, then it's going to be very, very tragic, and it's definitely going to involve that guy. There he is. I've been waiting to bring him up. Yeah. So if they are going to,
we will touch on that.
we'll bring up Mephisto. Don't worry. Sub OC. So let's talk about the commercial.
Yes, I love this one. This one was fucking hilarious. Didn't it like shock you when that fucking soccer ball hit that cereal bowl?
No.
It was quiet as hell.
That was not what was shocking.
I laughed.
The shocking part, I realized that it's been the same two people in every single commercial, which I hadn't realized until rewatching everything. I was like, wait a minute, these are the same two people. So I think I read somewhere that some people are expecting that to be, or speculating that to be that it's her parents, or they're supposed to be like representative of Wanda's parents for the commercial. You hear anything about that?
No, I haven't. The only things that I've talked about on that one, and someone told me, which kind of sounded right, was they may be the opposition that is helping Wanda keep in this this trance. That would be the bad guys putting.
Okay.
Fueling her needs.
That would make sense because they keep having like the Hydra stuff, or
the Stark Industries toaster. It was like, she sat there looking at a bomb waiting for it to explode, and that toaster was going. So maybe that's what that whole thing's about.
Yeah, the Hydra soak I thought was pretty funny for the for the name of the soap. And it was pretty spot on though when it said when you want to get away, you can take a break but not go anywhere.
Another right on the nose thing right there.
Yeah, and I guess that does play more into what you're saying, that it is the ones that want to keep them there, because I mean, obviously that would, like, it's a commercial glorifying taking a break and make your own world, make your own reality. So that's
and then it was just great because just seeing the cereal bowl explode when the soccer ball hit it fucking made me crack up. Just, I don't know why. I just love sight gags like that. And they probably had to get it just right. They're like, fucking chuck it at her.
I like how they actually used cornflakes. Like, that was a legitimate box of old cornflakes.
Also, those are the only kids you see. This is the first time we see kids.
Yep. For the children.
And it was a pretty diverse family for the 80s. Is that the 70s? It's the 70s right now, right?
70s, yeah. I was going to make that observation a little bit with Geraldine, that that everyone just kind of I'm not saying anything. It's just like she was a lot more accepted for the time. Obviously, the 70s was a very civil unrest type time, and she's.
I also thought about that about the previous episodes.
I liked her hairdo though in this one.
And she was just spot on, her whole costume. And when we get to that about her and leaving and everything, I'll talk about something I wanted to talk about, because this something blew my mind, and it confirms everything that I've been hoping for the show. So stay tuned for that.
We're pretty much at Geraldine, because now we're at the part where she's going into labor. Geraldine pops up. The stork scene was hilarious. Oh my gosh,
so
I
what
loved
are your thoughts on the stork? Do you think that?
I think the stork was basically just she can't escape having these kids. Like every time that the stork was just getting closer and closer, and the stork brings babies. That's kind of the metaphor there. I think
she was fine until the stork popped up and started to really start to put the pressure on her.
Do you think that? I mean,
you're supposed to be having labor.
Yeah, like it was a fun little distraction, but also like just a reminder, you can't, it's gonna keep popping up. Like the babies are coming. You can't get rid of it.
Ultra fast,
Yeah, real fast. Like it was supposed to be. Well, it went from 12 hours. She was 4 months pregnant, and then she was due Friday, and then all of a sudden she was giving birth.
It was 4 months, and then as soon as the inconsistencies happened outside, it went to 6 months, so that they could change the subject. And then during the conversation, it went to 9 months. So she must have, I want to go back and see if she actually did get bigger in those scenes. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well,
Like
when
that
you mean when Vision like went super
when it
fast
comes
and caught
back
the
in and it
yeah.
goes in like 6 months, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden she's at 9 months.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if there's like a scene where they switch over to a different prop for her stomach,
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
or
It's
they just had to
19
do a
million.
bunch of
Bro, it's
copy.
$19 million an episode.
19
Yeah.
million. They got her real pregnant for that.
For $19 million.
Put a real baby in me. Fuck it.
Oh man. All right, so then she has the babies. There's chaos everywhere. There's stuff going on. Portraits are spinning off the walls. Stuff is falling from the ceilings. Fire is exploding out of the fireplace. Geraldine, for the most part, is acting like everything's pretty much normal, which is either one because Wanda wants her to,
Right.
or two because she kind of expects it, which I don't know.
That's what I think
Yeah,
she's an actor in the world where everyone else is under a trance. She's like, placed there to try to get to Wanda and get her out of there.
I think she was definitely sent in. Of course, she was sent in because she gets kicked out and she has the sword pendant and everything like that. She brings up, Wanda brings up Pietro, and
That gets
then
weird. That whole scene gets weird.
God,
Man.
oh man, that got me because then she just stopped and she was like, "Didn't he get killed by Ultron?" And I was like, "Oh, here we go." I was like, "Here we go, here it comes." And
you're like,
that's when she just yeah. That's when Wanda just freaks out and yeets her out right out of the whole existence. Like, see ya.
see that face she made, like she was gonna kill you and you were Thanos.
Oh yeah.
That was like the
She
same
goes flying out of there
right.
and lands in the same costume, which I thought was important. Did I lose you?
We're good.
Oh, okay. She lands in the same costume in the real world and surrounded by Sword, who has just been waiting for anything to happen. So obviously they've got full teams and everything just waiting for just like a sign of anything going on in there.
Yeah, which means that if she's in the costume when she comes out the portal, that means that things that Wanda manifests are real.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was about to say, man. So everything that she's creating in there can be transferred into the real world or real dimension, which means the babies are going to be real, which is great news for Young Avengers speculation. It means that I still can't get a grasp on Vision. I don't think he's real, even though Wanda's manifested him. I don't think that's how they're going to bring him back. Yeah.
No.
I just but everything else that's going on in there for sure.
So, like, what if we just find out that it's partial barf technology, partial Wanda technology there?
Wanda and what technology? What did you say?
My buddy in the background screaming.
The Tony Stark. Yeah. The barf. Yeah, the aim I think actually Ryan Huntington, this guy right here, he texted me because I had made a note about all the hexagons that were going on throughout this show. Even the Brady Bunch boxes were in hexagons instead of like square boxes.
Yeah.
And Ryan messaged me. What's that?
Aesthetically, it was a nice touch either way, even if it's not a key, not a Easter egg. It's just those shapes fit together.
He thinks it's a nod to AIM.
Oh well, yeah, that's very possible. Everyone wants MODOK.
The MODOK, the murder killer machine.
So with Monica Rambeau, obviously she's ejected. Do you think the next episode's going to be partial from her perspective?
Possibly. Well, we've been getting everything from Wanda's perspective so far.
Because I want her to get her powers.
You want her to get become the new Miss Marvel? Oh, that's why, right there. Yeah.
Not just because of that.
No, I know.
I think that if we're bringing back Miss Marvel's IP. If we're gonna, get past all that bullshit where everyone's, being
So
all crazy.
Geraldine is the older Monica Rambeau.
Hmm.
That has pretty much just been confirmed. It's not even speculation. That is what's going on there.
Cassie Lang.
Um, she is a part of Sword. Sword is basically, from my understanding of Sword, and from what I can remember, Sword is like it's Shield, but it's for like outer space more focused than just like on Earth,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sentient weapons observation. So I don't remember what the R&D mean. I can't remember. But they changed it from
Research and development.
they made it sentient weapons now to
Oh,
make
okay.
it so in the cinematic universe it is a different sword. It's not the same from the comics.
Oh, it's not the same.
No, but it is the same name, and they're
Oh,
making
okay.
an organization in space and all that stuff. But it is not the same name because
Oh,
that
okay.
means something different in the comics. So I think
Um,
it's sentient worlds in the comics, and it's sentient weapons for this. And that's also speculation too, because that's only based off of a leak that came out of a digital trading card that fucking hasn't even come out yet. So
oh,
that it's just how comics are. Roll the dice.
what's up, Clancy?
Hey, clowns. I got
And
a
NYCMB is here as
Jack
well.
and Coke here. Usually when I talk to James, I got a drink.
Cheers. Um, okay, awesome. So I mean, overall, just a great episode. I think.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
with
so well.
Monica having a bigger part here. Oh, we didn't get to talk about when Vision goes and kind of eavesdrops a little bit about on Herb and Agnes.
Hmm.
Yeah, there she is. There she is.
This is what we're probably going to be seeing in the next episode, the 80s. If it's not the 80s, then it's going to be a mix of the 80s and 90s. I think they're going to switch over halfway through the episode.
I mean, with the
They've
headband and
been doing
tights,
it.
it's got to be
They've been
80s.
going fast with this
Yeah.
episode. It's going to get real fast.
She. Who is she scared of?
Oh
Do you
yeah,
think?
I think.
Because there was a look of actual fear
Hmm.
when Herb was about to tell Vision what was going on, and like she was like no, and then it was like it wasn't like anger, it wasn't stop or I'm gonna beat the crap out of you or anything like that. It was don't don't. Is she scared of Wanda? Is she scared of AIM? Is she scared of Mephisto?
I think she's afraid of a higher power, and we've already seen the higher power, the one that's creating everything going on. And I'm if last week I was at 80% for Mephisto, I'm at 50% now because this episode did throw me off.
That threw you off. Do you think that
Mhm.
who does she call her husband again all the time? What's his name?
She calls him Ralph,
Ralph.
which a lot of people have tried to dissect that name, and it doesn't really lead to the devil at all. Um,
No, it
I
doesn't
think
really
one is
lead to
like
the devil, but
strong,
she's the one that
strong
has
word.
said that that's not the only place where the devil is. She's also
Right.
said
He looks better in the dark.
Ralph looks better in the dark. Yeah, devil in the dark. Um, so I don't know. I think Ralph is definitely. I don't know.
I hope.
I think
I hope.
I'm thinking. Obviously, I'm thinking also that we're gonna see the kids before we see Mephisto. I think the kids might have a bigger play here, whether it's Malevolence or God, what was
Well,
the other
the kids
girl?
are the key. That's the whole
And then
show
there's Blackheart, of course.
for the
Um,
children.
for the children, right? Yeah. So that's another thing. Why I think it's going to be Mephisto's kids, and then we'll see Mephisto later on.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
think.
agree with that one. I think the whole chant for the kids is going along with my maybe she locked them away from, or started the whole simulation away from where their kids were at school, and now none of those kids can even get into the town to see their parents, and or they took all the kids.
Oh,
I'm sorry, hit the mic. They took all the kids, and they can't get them back until they complete this whole ritual or whatever's going on.
oh, yeah, because there definitely is. It's almost like an under the dome situation. I don't know if
And,
you've
and the people that don't have the kids, that's
read the book
probably
or
their wives or husbands or sick family members in a hospital, anything. They could all just be. And you notice there's less people, so they could have gotten ejected
yeah,
for.
we thought it was going to expand, and it was actually like less
Got
people.
smaller, yeah.
Yeah, it got smaller, so we were a little off on that one from
Mhm.
from last week when we were talking about it.
This is totally new. Even Kevin Feige said that this is something that's not been done before, and we're not going to really know what's going on until the very end of it with Doctor Strange coming in.
Wonder what 80s sitcom they'll reference.
Well, this one looks like Roseanne, but I don't know. It's like early 90s, late 80s kind of style, probably. I think they're going to do. I mean, some of the sitcoms, the Brady Bunch, lasted for fucking ever.
Yeah.
They were like, let's get a redheaded stepchild in here, make it different.
I don't know too many from the 80s, honestly, as far as sitcoms. I knew Brady Bunch, obviously. Brady Bunch is classic. And
I was upset from she used that line when she turned it into butterflies. I wanted her to save that line for the 90s. Did I do that?
Did I do that? This is some Urkel.
Man, if she would have done that, holy shit, that
would have been hilarious.
No, they bring back Monica Rambeau, but she's Urkel.
Let's see. I do like so this is now going back. So when I rewatched all three just straight and then just kind of jotted down anything that I had missed. One thing that I had missed off the bat, when Geraldine and Wanda first sat down at Dottie's meeting, like to discuss the show that they were doing. Geraldine just turns to Wanda and says, "I don't even know what I'm doing here," and she looks genuinely confused, which I completely missed the first time. Like she just appeared, like boof, there she is. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So I thought that was interesting. I wonder if if Sword is trying to send people in, if that's what's going on, if they completely like get wiped almost and have to like refocus back into their task or what they're trying to do.
Because you remember when they first brought Scarlet Witch in, her whole power was just changing up what you're seeing. Remember, Tony had that vision.
Oh yeah.
That's like she can do that, but now she's doing it at like an ultra powered scale. So really, every single person could be under that same spell. Sorry, the dog was
Full House.
That he was near me. Yeah, Full House would be a good one.
Seinfeld, Friends.
What is that? Growing Pains, I think, was in the 90s.
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains, yeah, with
Malcolm in the Middle, Married with Children.
Alan Thicke.
Alan Thicke.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit more about Agnes and why she would be afraid. If she was working for Mephisto, why would she be afraid of Geraldine being near the kids? Is that because she doesn't want Geraldine to take the kids, hurt the kids, make Wanda wake up to realize that they're not real before she gets attached to them?
I do think that she's afraid Geraldine is going to ruin whatever they're manifesting for sure. That Geraldine's gone in there to take the kid. If it's take the kids, or take Wanda, or like kind of get Wanda out of there, because that's what Geraldine was trying to do. She was like, "Oh yeah, Pietro. Remember Pietro? Because he was killed by Ultron." Like trying to bring the tragic occurrences in her life into this reality. Like, hey, you remember that happened, and then you need to remember that Vision is dead, and you need to remember that you killed a whole bunch of people in a skyscraper.
I think that's what Sword wanted her to do, like come in and say that stuff, or she just kind of like snap back to reality. Whoops, there goes gravity. Whoops, you're flying up. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry. I smacked Bruce.
You smacked him?
Yeah, I smacked Bruce. Yeah, be careful. So yeah, I just want to talk about these two guys and why they would be scary to her. One, I think that Agnes from the Salem witch trials, the first day that it happened is her birthday. So that's pretty crazy. When she says that her husband Ralph won't remember her birthday unless there was a beer called the June 2nd or 5th, one of those. That's the day of the Salem witch trials, and a lot of people have put that together. I read that. I didn't come up with that myself.
Okay.
So they've checked that. That's witch's hammer and all that good stuff. Search it on Google. She could have died during the Salem witch trials and became a permanent user of the Darkhold. Mephisto's one person that knows the, human life and everything that could help him throughout the years. So I think that maybe she's in debt to him, and the only reason why she's walking around right now is because she's doing this, and she might be able to get her family back somehow.
Okay. Well, that would definitely explain a fear aspect. If she doesn't perform what she needs to do, then Mephisto or whoever the power at be is going to,
Or
punish her. Yep.
Or just her. It could just be Wanda making people disappear, and it's scaring the shit out of everybody.
Right. Yep. I read, yeah, because I did read something that said that she was scared of Wanda, and then something that said that she was scared of like Mephisto. It would make sense to be scared of Wanda for sure. I mean, she's terrifying. She's one of the most powerful. You know, I think she is the most powerful in the Avengers at that point.
Kevin Feige has officially declared her as the most powerful in the universe.
In the whole universe?
In the Marvel Cinematic.
In the Marvel Cinematic Universe? So far, or she is it?
So far.
Okay.
Yeah. Until Franklin Richards comes out, who can just...
Yeah, and if you don't have that book, you need to get that book for real.
I almost got one today, and I missed it. And
you missed it too? I missed bro, I was so mad. There was two of them. I missed both of them. Yep. Missed both of them, man. Oh, I was frustrated because I was like, man, I do need a 6th and 7th copy.
Comic book hoarders is going to be like a 700-pound guy, and there's like a stack of FF48s. I need those. Grandpa,
what were you saying? Like when I'm 90 years old, James, you can let go of the 48s. No, there's still room to grow.
Still room to grow. You're on your deathbed. Let it go. Yeah, the Crescent of Fortune will be told in FF48.
No. It's in my will. I want them burned.
Right. All right, let's talk about the Speed and Wiccan. Like, what's coming out of Speed and Wiccan from this?
Yeah, go ahead. Because you know a lot more about Young Avengers stuff than I do, for sure.
I didn't actually read all of the Young Avengers yet. I haven't gotten into it, and I really should. But I know most of the happenings and the key happenings in the universe for them. And it's really mostly about the love story between Wiccan and Hulkling. That's everyone's real big inclusive thing that's going to be going on, hopefully happening. With Wiccan being basically Scarlet Witch, but a male and younger, and also he has a couple other things he likes to do. It's not just the cookie cutter powers, but they actually dive deep into his character, similar to how they made Peter Parker a more relatable character. But he ends up falling in love with Hulkling. He has a very strong relationship with him, and it also interferes with them being Young Avengers at times. So it does add that whole professional and love kind of
the relationship does
the strong relationship to that. And his brother's really supportive of it and everything, and I think that's really cool. And it's really going. They have a marriage, and let's look at that. Look how cute that is. And that's adorable. And it's just, I think it's going to push people away from the older Avengers speculations, going into the young Avengers speculations a lot more. We're going to start seeing a lot of drops in those older keys going into these newer keys, like we've seen a surge in Moderns. This is
for sure.
Definitely these two guys right here. By tomorrow, all their books are probably going to be $10, $15 more than what they usually price out to, and the keys even higher than that.
Yeah, I already checked for Young Avengers. It's already shot up again. I was very lucky to get I think I have a 9.6 that I got from Gazer before it spiked again. The most recently before this, he was nice enough to sell one to me, and that's one I knew I had to hang on to for a little while, and it's a good thing because Young Avengers, I think, is going to be a very big part of the MCU future. Do you think that with how rapidly we progressed into the infants, that they are going to rapidly progress their childhood as well through this show?
No one wants to see these babies.
Okay. So we
want mischief,
Yeah, you think they're going to get to like the adolescent age? Like somewhere in that area?
very like right in the next episode they're gonna be toddlers, like almost
I mean,
instantly.
by the end, do you think like basically by the end it's like poof, and now they can come out and be
I think they're
almost
gonna
like
be
what they were harvested for, pretty
yeah, I
much.
think I will the this is only based off the comic book knowledge of what we think is gonna happen. If they are parts of Mephisto's soul, he's gonna want those back. He's gonna want to make servants out of them, or use them to make himself whole again in the mortal plane. Which they even with like guys like Dormammu, they really like they showed how much he can do, and then they kind of made him not as relevant anymore. So if they do that with Mephisto, he's going to try to go for his souls of these kids, and then not be successful, and then end up driving Wanda away from whatever, making her the bad guy. So I think Mephisto is going to get taken care of like that, or whoever, the Grim Reaper, or which a lot of people think it's Grim Reaper, but I don't think it's going to be.
A lot of people are saying Grim Reaper.
I just, if it is, it's not the same from the comics. It's not worth going out and buying the comic for it. Wonder Man isn't Vision, and it's not the same storyline.
I got one though, just in case.
I'm sorry, but
I got a cheap one just in case.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, to be honest, I don't think Wonder Man specs will pay out like everyone wants them to. But that's
I don't think it's going to be a huge.
And if you have a really nice one, that's already an expensive book. So
yeah, I mean, if you look, it's a single digits Avengers book. It's Avengers #9, in case you guys didn't know. And I love my low grade copies. I found a low grade one for $69. I was like, man, it's meant to be. So I picked it up, and I was like, you know what? Even if nothing happens with Wonder Man, right?
And that's
Avengers.
That's not
Avengers 9 is not a bad book to have.
Yeah. You're not going to kick yourself for owning a comic book at that price. But if you go and spend $600 on a 3.0, then you're not going to be very happy in a couple weeks, because unless they bring actual Wonder Man in, or at least hint to him being real or whatever, if they bring in Grim Reaper, it won't matter. And he'll just have to be a totally different character with totally different reasons to want to do everything he's doing, because
so how do you think that, okay, so say we're pretty much in agreement that Mephisto is kind of pulling strings here, but I don't think we're going to see Mephisto, right? So how do you think they're going to play him? Because I don't see Mephisto as the next big bad like Thanos was. Like, we had a lot of villains leading up to this, but Thanos was the villain. So Mephisto, I don't think is going to be the villain. So how do you think he's going to play?
I think it's a group effort right now, because Cthon is like the one of her main magic interferers in her life. I say interferers, but protagonist, antagonist, all that stuff really doesn't matter in a story like this, because Wanda's going to be the bad guy at the end. So I think if they do go with the Cthon story, that'd be really cool, because it's just Cthon trying to make her the most powerful she can be, and then using that power for himself. That's cool. Agatha Harkness was a part of that, and she was also a part of trying to take Wanda's kids. So it's all about Agnes. It's really, she is the one person that's going to clarify things, because whatever she's afraid of or whatever's going on, we're going to find out either through her eyes or Monica Rambeau from the outside.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we're going to see a lot more outside now that Monica's been booted?
That's what I want. I want the next episode to show at least 5 or 10 minutes of what everyone outside is saying, because they pointed guns at Monica Rambeau when she came out.
At first, and then saw who she was and stopped.
Yeah, but they were like ready to fire, and I want to.
Yeah, they were ready. Yeah, well, I mean, they're ready to take down Wanda.
Yeah,
it just shows that she's causing damage. It just proves that she really is the bad guy here.
Well, yeah, you get thrown out of something like that, it's still gonna hurt you too. Like, Monica probably got pretty fucked up on that, right? Look, she's all right. Hard. Like,
yeah,
I want her to get powers. I want to know how it's gonna happen. Is she gonna get bit by a radioactive spider or something? Like, what's going on?
Do you think she already has the powers? I mean,
no.
It is an older Monica. You don't think so yet? Not yet.
I think that it would have been a little bit.
I mean, it would have been wiped in this alternate reality. She wouldn't have had the powers
Maybe
in
that's
there.
why she could go in. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got something there. Yeah, sometimes.
Because when
So
she comes out, like at first I thought that she did have the powers when she was landing, but then when I went back and watched it again, I noticed that it was that red, that from Scarlet Witch, that red trace
right.
that she leaves when she moves stuff and throws stuff.
Are we
Because
gonna
at
get?
first I thought it was her with the Miss Marvel power.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be really cool if she comes in and she's all energy and stuff. But do you think that there's anyone right now that can take Wanda besides Monica Rambeau's
No,
powers?
no, that's why I think this is going to be a crazy like tragedy.
Hmm. Exactly. They're gonna get used to the kids, and then something's gonna try to take them. I think. I hope that we get cameos from the Avengers. I think we're gonna get more cameos in this one.
From some of the other.
Um, because this is all depending on if it's after Endgame or before. We don't really have any evidence that it's after Endgame yet, besides the fact that maybe later someone says that someone's died. They faked trailer footage before, so I don't know if that's even that Catherine Hahn thing with her.
They have confirmed that it starts right after Endgame.
But in which way? How did they do it?
No, like not in the show. Someone
Yeah, but they've
has.
lied before, you know.
Oh, you think they're just lying? They're
Before.
lying to us. They're doing us dirty like that.
I think that they do that sometimes. You know, remember Hulk was running in a field with everyone, and then it was Banner the whole movie. You know, that shit happens.
Yeah.
They mislead you sometimes, and they do it so that you're more excited and you lean back in your chair. You know, it's really I would appreciate if they would do something like that, because I don't like the fact that they showed further in to show that Wanda's like, you know, living alone and stuff like that, because now I know that Vision and her break up, and they're going to be raising their kids separate from each other at one point. And I didn't want to know that. I didn't want to see any. I'm not really mad about spoilers, but for a show like this, I'm really really intrigued. I would love to read a book like this. Just like it's just something that's actually like piquing my interest, and that doesn't happen a lot on these shows.
Right. For sure. No, it's definitely got me hooked now. Which is a little different than like the first episode. A lot of people watched the first episode and that was it, and they were done. And
Yeah, I actually read something. Someone wrote like a 3 paragraph thing about how they think it's bullshit, and they made us wait for all this, and it's just like there's a bigger picture in all this.
yeah, and I'm not saying that you have to like it or anything. Maybe you don't like it. That's fine. But it's definitely I don't think it's that like you said it's $19 million an episode. So uh, just keep stunting that number every time we talk about it. So I think they have a purpose. They have a plan. This isn't on accident with this writing, like we've been talking about. So brilliant with the way that they're saying things, the idioms and the phrases that they're using. It's like everything. And then like what you remember when you pointed out the calendar? I mean, they have someone checking the dang calendar for it to be the correct year. Yeah. So nothing is I don't think anything's on accident at this point. So
And they can't afford it. They really can't. Like they have to do everything at one time, get it all done. They don't want to have to do reshoots. So this stuff is like always spot on. And even the improv in the show is like spot on. A lot of it's improv. Like some of the stuff they do is a lot of fun, and I can only imagine being involved with a show like this, because if it is $19 million an episode, they're really gunning it every single week to make these until it comes out, and then they get to sit back and watch all the because just imagine how good of an actor you have to be able to play in each of those eras and be interesting and not break character and stuff like that. And that's like for Monica
new
Rambeau's character,
costume.
that has to be a really really big challenge to just keep playing different eras, because every time you see them, they talk differently. They have different words they're saying, and different terms, and
different types of jokes as well, which is not easy to pull
even
off. In different styles of comedy, different.
That piece of shit doctor. You could be a nurse one day.
Oh yeah,
Like come on,
that was pretty funny.
Her mom was a pilot, bro.
Yeah,
fucking Air Force pilot.
Yeah, the little smile out there was telling with Monica.
Yeah, because Wanda knows, and she knows that deep down that Wanda's ruling the universe, and that guy's just belittling women because he's a dummy. She could just make him disappear if she wanted.
How many episodes is this show going to be? I can't remember. Is it 6 or is it 12?
Someone told me that it's supposed to be 8.
Oh,
and
8. Okay.
Based on the math of how much they spent on the show versus the $19 million budget. And
$19 million an episode.
I only bring that up because that's the most that Disney has ever spent on a project like this. That's why I know that.
I just want to talk about how it's $19 million an episode.
Truck of money up. I'm all. I mean, they took what? How much money from you this month? $9 to watch it.
Yeah. Well, technically,
cool.
Yes. Wasn't for me. This is from. If we want to get technical, they took $9 out of Alexis's dad's account, and
right. They're what, 22 minutes each?
Yes.
So we're getting 22 minutes. 22.
There you go.
You know,
Ryan says that it's going to be 9 episodes.
We're at 1 hour and 6 minutes here of just quality that we love, and take away the credits and everything. It's pretty solid movie so far, and I'm thankful for that. At least we've had a real dry year. Last year was so bad, and you remember people were scraping the bottom of the bucket for their speculations and everything else, and all of a sudden, boom.
Well, that's why everyone was buying Modern so hard.
Yeah. And now they really should.
I can't stand. No, I still should. I can't.
I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, Young Avengers. If you don't have a Young Avengers yet, like it's going to be hard to get one now. But
that's the giant size X-Men #1 of our time.
Young Avengers 1 is the giant size X-Men 1
of our time. Yeah, even though giant size X-Men 1's kind of our time. I'm from the 1990. It's just before. So I mean, it's kind of it's really my X-Men. I didn't grow up with the original loser ass team where it's like a big fat white guy with no shoes on kicking people, call himself Beast. I like my Beast blue. I'm sorry. The feet cover.
Do you like? I mean, it's a good analogy to it though. That for giant size X-Men #1 and
Wiccan.
Yeah, Young Avengers 1 because it is the new team. So I guess that is a good representation.
I mean, even if it's not first appearance of some of those characters, it is the first time the Young Avengers team has been debuted in an issue. So
I don't think there's any way it's going to hit the giant size X-Men #1 prices though.
9.8s, it'll hit an all-time high, but not 9.6s, 9.4s. People are like sending them in so fast that there's going to be a million 9.6s.
Oh, good. I'm so glad I have a 9.6.
I buy 9.6s because it's still a near.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, 9.6 and 9.4 is still near mint. Do not be ashamed of having a 9.4 and a 9.6 in your collection, y'all. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's the same book.
And this just happened with Kyle. Kyle got his grades back, and like the UF4 came back a 9.4, but no notes. And both of us thought it was a 9.6, 9.8, right? So, I mean, no notes. That means CGC is on their BS, right? So,
lazy.
You know, it's still near mint. It still looks like a flawless copy. Oops, I just hit the mic too. It still looks like a flawless copy. So 9.4, 9.6 is not. It's not a bad thing to have.
So back to the implications of of Wanda starting to crack, and just straight up just re-edit everything, how it just blipped back. Like Vision himself was starting to notice, and she was like, I'm sorry. Yep, you're gonna have to say something. And the music changed instead this time. Yep.
Kind of like the reverse.
She's starting to really get darker, and it's scaring me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna continue. How long she's gonna be able to continue to keep that up.
I think she's starting to get more protective already. She just had the kids, and she got more protective right away.
Yeah. What did she have the kids when she didn't have the kids yet? Well, I mean, she didn't birth the kids yet when she reversed Vision back.
She birthed the kids when she sent Monica out, and she started snapping and talking about Pietro.
Yep.
She's like, I'm a twin.
Yeah, I'm a twin. I was a twin. Yeah.
And that's what kicked Monica's brain into the real world, right? When she said that.
Mm-hmm.
So like there is like some kind of trance going on. There is like obviously some kind of trance, but until the next episode, we don't know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really excited to see what's going on next.
Mhm.
You can catch us talking about it again next week on Friday at same time, 7 p.m. And yeah, I'm really hoping for some good stuff. We get to actually we won't be talking about it Friday, Justin.
No, we'll actually be in real life talking about it.
Ooh, maybe we can go live on Instagram like Friday night or something.
We'll be a little late.
It will be
Most
late,
yeah.
like midnight ish on our time.
Hmm. But we'll be from one screen.
Yeah. So okay, so that I'm glad that I remembered that, so I can talk about it a little bit. So next Friday, Justin's flying here to North Carolina, and then we're driving down to South Carolina to go to the Sumter Convention. So Friday night at the hotel, we will go live and talk about WandaVision live, probably on Justin's Instagram channel. So be on the lookout for that. You can find him. You can see on the screen at Comic Talks on Instagram. And I'm still getting used to like how I point.
I know. I have to put like little dots on the walls.
And then after that, we'll be back. We should be back to normal on YouTube. But exciting news: we will be holding a huge convention auction Saturday night on my Instagram channel. That would be Comics for Cheap on Instagram. So do be sure to look out for that. We're gonna have tons of giveaways. I have merchandise and apparel giveaway, which I'm wearing my Near Mint as you know what shirt right now. You can find that on my Etsy shop, and for today only. Today the coupon code ends. Send it to James for 10% off the whole store. These are actually really comfy, man. I'm really loving them.
I wanted to talk real quick about something we didn't really get to touch base on.
Oh,
if
go ahead.
Not Mephisto, and if not Agnes, if Agnes isn't Agatha, then is she the daughter of Mephisto?
Dottie's the daughter, but she might
Dottie
be.
is? No, I don't think so. Dottie's cool. Dottie hot.
I got a couple of those. You can
Doctor
expect
Strange
that one.
issue number 6 has gone up to around $15 for a fine copy. Usually the evidence is basically just because most of the characters in the show that we've been seeing are female. We are waiting for Mephisto, and if it's not Mephisto, then it is a more modern, more inclusive version of Mephisto, it being.
It's either going to be her or it's going to be Malevolence, because she's called. What is she called in that issue?
I can't remember. This is the Faust Gambit Part 2. If you guys want to look it up.
OC says.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, I'm not even selling that book. I don't sell that book ever.
Ben.
That's just one of those. It's just one of those books you hold on to. You can find it at most comic shops if they haven't figured out what it is. It's cheap.
There's a Guardians of the Galaxy one. I think it's either 6 or 7. That I picked up a couple of those too, and then I picked up a couple of the Daredevil, the Blackheart. So I picked up a couple of those as well. All the children of Mephisto, because it's for the children. But yeah, do you have anything you want to plug, Justin? I think you have something going on this weekend.
Yeah, I got an auction tomorrow night, just a 2-hour auction, real quick, real sweet. A couple keys going into that one. I'm going to the comic shop in the morning and picking up some last minute books. So there'll be a few modern books you guys have been looking for. Nothing too big, but it is going to have keys every half hour like I usually do. So there's going to be 2 large keys, and I'm also going to be putting up some slabs. And of course, I always do payment plans. A lot of the people with my payment plans are they do them pretty quick, and works out really well. So I'm offering that to everyone. And thank you again, James, for having me on. This is our 2nd episode of talking about WandaVision, which is weird because it's about episode 3. So that's a little confusing.
Yes. It's a lot of fun, as always. Again, next week we'll be talking about it on Justin's channel. I will have the huge auction next Saturday night. Nice place, man. Golly.
I know. I just got it.
I'll have the huge auction next Saturday night where we'll be throwing down. I've got 4 shirts to give away. We'll have top buyer prizes for the top 2 buyers. We'll have a new coupon code for the merchandise store, all that good stuff. And subscribe to both of us. Our information is in the description. Justin has his YouTube channel that he's uploading some stuff there as well. I'm trying to upload stuff as often as I can. I'll have another unboxing video for you guys tomorrow, which is exciting. And yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it.
Feel free to comment down below. We both frequent the comments a lot,
Oh
at
yeah.
least until it gets out of hand and we start to get a lot more trolls. But right now we know our trolls, so we're cool with that. So
Yeah.
go ahead and comment down below, like or unlike if you want to. Either way, it still gets us play. And thank you again, everyone, for joining us. This is new to us. YouTube is a lawless wasteland, and we're happy to try to comply to it. And it's people like you that have been supporting us and getting us to this point. So thank you so much.
All right. You guys have a good
All
night.
right. Yeah.
All right. Fuck it.